Right. Let's do this one. Whoa, standards just updated in time. That's what I'd like to see. So, ooh. Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to Rapid Pixel Racing round 14 in France. I am your host, DXT Nevo, and my co-host Tobo is still being in a bell end, so he's not here. And my second co-host Gaz has unfortunately fallen ill with bellenditis, just like Hobo, so it is just me tonight. But hey, that's the best outcome for everybody. I'll quickly, before we get into the qualifying, do a quick rundown of the driver's standing and the constructor's standings. So, first place in the driver's standings, currently leading the way on 216 points, we have Johnny Stokes. Second place on 215 points, we've got Moyland. So very close battle for the top spot right there. Third place, we've got Scotty Harris on 172 points. Fourth place, we have RPR Chubb on 164 points. Fifth place, we've got Avi on 106. Sixth place, we've got McDutchface on 100. Seventh place, we've got Al Jadifa on 63. Eighth place, we've got Erez on 62. Ninth place, we've got Bonesma on 21. 10th place, El Stefano on 17. 11th place, Wumax on 16. 12th place, we've got Rob on 13. 13th, we've got Lulu on 9. Joint 14th, we've got Nellis and Speedy, both on 8. 16th place, we've got 3Sync on 4. In fact, we've got 3 people, joint 16th, 3Sync, Hud Sojo and Liam Shane, all on 4 points. And then Brooker, Bronco and Carl Frood on 0. Just there. Evening James and evening Jack. Jack says Brooker Bronco is going to win and lap the field 26 times even though he isn't here. That's a good shout. That's a good shout, Jack, mate. It's going to happen. Quickly head over to the constructors. So first place. Quickly find my controller. Who's going? Is that? Well, let's actually get all the stuff on first. Tyre. Who's just jumped out? Rob coming out there. I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's Erez. I thought it was a Merc. Okay, so hello, Mrs. Carl. Moyland says rain. Is that rain in quali or rain in the race, Moyland? So first place in the constructors currently we've got the McLaren on 316 points. Second place we've got the Alpine on 232 points. Third place we've got Red Bull on 231 points, so very close for that second place right there. Fourth place we've got Aston Martin on 172. Fifth place we've got Mercedes on 168. Sixth place we've got AlphaTauri on 73. Seventh place we've got Alfa Romeo on 49. Eighth place we've got Ferrari on 48. Ninth place we've got Williams on 28. And last but not least we have the Haas on 14 points. So there we go. Moyland, rain for both at some point apparently. Oh, 10 minutes, okay. So these first laps could be the most important laps of this Q1 session here. Only one place going to be dropped out, so it's still very important to get through to Q2. You'll be back next week, James. Okay, that's nice, mate. You've missed that. This will be your second race you missed, isn't it? Nice to have you back for next week. So we're going to stay on board with Erez right now, as he's coming around 14 and 15, accelerating down the straight. So let's see what he's got. Let's jump on board now with Erez as he comes down into turn 1, down into 4th. Oh, that curb can be very dodgy, very easy to invalidate as well over those curves right there. On the run down to turn 3, jumps that down, that's quite nice. Takes a lot of curb there. 3, 5, 6. On the power relatively early, coming through here, turn 6. Turn 6 there. No, that's turn 7, my bad. Down the middle, here we're coming through here, turns 8 and turns 9. Very nicely done. It's looking actually quite a nice lap from Erez. We know Erez can be relatively quick, especially in the qualifying. What can you do? He hangs it around turn 10. Does he leave it flat? It does leave it flat. See, I could not leave that corner flat. Maybe the handling update has made it able to go flat. I feel like it was way too dodgy going flat through there. Quite nicely navigated through turn 11, and this is the very kind of weird kind of section through that corner. Really, it's quite a late apex. Erez slightly missed it. Not too big a deal here. Here we come now for Hara, coming through the final couple corners here. Turn 15, accelerating down to the line, and the benchmark set by Erez is going to be a 131.2. So there we go, Erez's benchmark. Is that enough to get through? It's possible. I think everyone's going to need to be out and doing their thing, as if rain is coming in about 10 minutes, they don't have much time here to get going. So let's see what we've got. Let's get some predictions in the chat. Where do you think everyone's going to be for qualifying and in the race then? Avi with a 130.6. We know Avi's quick. He's always quite quick in qualifying as well, especially. Be interesting to see what our championship leader Johnny Stokes can do in this quali session. Again, knowing that this could be the only lap for everyone. That's why pretty much everyone's out. We do have... Johnny's invalidated. That's unfortunate. Lewis Williams invalidated. He's invalidated again. Scott Harris. Let's jump on. Let's see what he can do. See what Scotty's got. Nice to see Jack back in the car as well. Moylan to win. It's going to be close today, I think. I think especially with Jack back in the... I mean, one thing I will say, and I'm probably about to completely jinx him and ruin him, Moylan hasn't spun in like 4 races or something ridiculous. Like, he started racing in the Friday League Me and Hobo run, and he hasn't spun out there, and it just makes no sense. I really feel like he's due a spin, but so Moylan with a 130.7. I mean, again, that's enough to get him through. Or on a bit rear-endy there, but Scotty's going to cross the line. It's going to be a 130.9, so enough for third, and that will see him through probably into Q2 quite nicely. We've got a yellow on sector 1. Is that... Oh no, it looks like there's someone. That is just Rob moving out of the way. Does manage to get a time, 132. Is that 132 going to be enough though? LGD for 131.4. Mr. Psycho Sane 131.5. I'm assuming that's just a new racer. Nice to see. Hopefully it's not just a game, a PlayStation name change. Boseman's in the pits. Lulu has invalidated and invalidated again. Where's Carl? So Dutch Face 130.9, get himself up to 4th. Carl is coming around. Let's see what Carl can do. Can he? I mean, Jack is staying in the pits now. Les is in the pits. Maybe the rain's not coming yet. I mean, I guess there's still a bit of time. Sector 1. Is that? No, that can't be. No, it's not. What? Who's that round? That looks like an AlphaTauri. Is that Al Jadifa? Maybe it's just Al Jadifa going slowly, letting people through. Yeah, it's him getting out the way. Nicely done there from Al Jadifa. Johnny Stokes manages to get a lap in, a 1:30.98. Very close between Johnny and his teammate McDutchface. But again, this is just to see who's going to get through to Q2. That's what we're looking to see. As Al Jadifa is now coming through village section. Oh no, it's not. He's coming down the Mistral Straight. Don't know why I was looking down there. So we got them in there. I feel like there's a lot of people out on track, which means everyone is scared of the rain. Because when you get this many people out on track, it's usually means something is about to go down. So at the moment, Lewis is in a bad situation. He's in a bad situation. Doesn't have a time on the board. Needs to get a time on the board so that he can have a chance of getting through to Q2. We've got El Stefano 132.3, Carl on a 132.3 as well. I think everyone on the 132 and lower is going to be under some threat here. It could be about a three or four way battle for this one spot here, really. Jeff can't make up his mind when they're at 10 to 15. Oh, Jeff is useless, man. I swear down, you ask Jeff and he goes, oh, it's rain's coming soon, 5 minutes. You ask him again in 5 minutes. Oh, it's about 10-15 minutes out. Cheers, Jeff, mate. Absolute stinker, Jeff is. I wish you could change your name. I wish it wasn't Jeff. Why has it always got to be Jeff? Why can't you change your name? So when you're talking to him, it's like Percival. Why does it always have to be Jeff? Or what about Dave? Stuart? It could be so, like, the possibilities are endless. It's always Jeff. So Carl always does quite a few laps here. So I'm expecting to see Carl go again properly on this lap. He kind of does a lap, then does like a cool down lap, and then goes again. Obviously it doesn't really matter at this stage because these tyres are irrelevant. He definitely likes to save his tyres. So let's see what Carl can actually do. Let's jump on board here. This is for Mrs. Carl watching a fellow race right now. I'm sure she'd much rather be watching Moyland, but still. She can watch Carl instead. Oh, that's a bit wide, but still hasn't done anything. Didn't invalidate, so down the Mistral Straight. All the way down into the little kink. 8 and 9. Oh, and Bosma. He's out. And that's pretty much ended the qualifying already. That is pretty much killed the qualifying. So that is coming out of turn 7. That's very easy to slide there. Okay, so Carl keeping it in 7th gear this whole run down. I reckon if he keeping it in 7th through turn 10 isn't a bad shout, but he probably should switch up and maybe back down because he's completely full chat. He could probably gain a little bit of time if he upshifted after 10 there. Late April, well, not even a late April, really wide for the last turn 15 there, but is Carl going to improve on his current 132.3? He does, 132.2, so he doesn't... Well, he does actually, he puts him above El Stefano. Or was he already there? I can't remember who was the closest, but so, with Bosma being out now, that literally means... I mean... Unless someone else crashes out, like if Lewis crashes out, or Jack crashes out, I mean, we could see... Well, I mean, it's irrelevant anyway. If someone else switches out, then there's only going to be 14 races in the next bit of qualifying, but it pretty much gives everyone the opportunity to get through to the next qualifying, as long as there's no mistakes. Let's see what Jack can do. I haven't seen Jack in probably three or four races now, maybe more actually. I'm trying to think the last time he raced here. Obviously, he usually races PSGL. Let's see if he's got any better or got any worse. I will say this, I'm liking the helmet jack. That is nice and bright, it's what I like to see. A bit of pink, a little bit of yellow, a bit of pizzazz. Oh, it's a purple sector 1, if that's actually correct. What has Jack got in the bag? It needs to be a 130.6. I mean, it's literally for nothing. He doesn't even need to be here, but this is kind of just for who's got the bigger cojones. Jack proper riding those curbs, making the track as wide as possible. Really throwing the car into those corners. What's he got now coming through turn 10? Looked like a purple sector 2. This could be a very naughty time about to happen from Jack, but just want to give too much away. Don't give your true pace away yet, mate. Just do enough to get through. Don't want to scare everyone off. I'm not gonna. I think the only person that's really gonna come out would be probably Lewis. He's the only person. I mean, he doesn't even really need to get time on the board, like as long as he doesn't crash out. But I think it'd be nice to see him get a time on the board still. So here we go through turn 15. Jack is now on the accelerator. DRS wide open, comes across the line to do a 1:29.3. And hot damn. Let's hope he. Well, I mean, if that's with a bit of sandbagging, then that's a scary, scary time from Jack. I mean, I do notice in this league, a lot of people leave quite a lot in Q1 on the table. You'll see sometimes in Q1 you're thinking, oh blimey. Very rarely do you think, oh crap. Actually, you know, they were quicker in another session. Doesn't usually happen. Most of the time, there's always quite a lot of time to be found throughout the qualifier. Let's go now on to Lewis. Just need a time, Lewis, mate. That's all you need. Just need a time. Oh, and Speedy's joined. Well, this has changed. Can Speedy get a lap time in though? That is one thing. Oh, it's gonna. If he gets out pretty much ASAP, if he gets his setup on and gets out there, he can. But this makes it a little bit more spicy. This means Lewis needs to actually do a decent time, at least quicker than 1:32.7. And anyone that's kind of stayed in thinking it's not going to matter. I mean, there's still time for everyone to go out, but I mean, looking at Rob, Carl, El Stefano, Neles, this could all be under threat here. Could all be under threat. McDutchface, whenever I race in France, it's wet. I feel like France is just generally a wet track. I feel like no matter when you race in France, it's wet. I don't think it's just you, McDutchface, man. What's Lewis going to do? Managed to not invalidate. He's on the run down to the line now. 1:32.7, ideally to beat 1:32.774. So, does just about beat Neles, but only just. And Neles is still in the pits. It's getting close. I mean, people are going to need to start getting out in the next kind of 20 seconds-ish. Moylan, see at the end of the race, then Jack, ridiculous. I mean, yeah, Jack. That lap from Jack was a bit scary, to be fair. But anything can happen in a race. You never know. Could be safety cars. Rob, not looking forward to a wet race. Jack will finish before he gets to Jack. Probably. Everyone will be lapped like 7 times, and they won't even have to put on intermediates. So Speedy. So Bozeman's out. So it's that's irrelevant. That's one slot gone. And Neles is now on an out lap. And so is Carl. I think Carl's actually safe, you know. I think it's literally between Lewis and Neles. And Lewis has invalidated this lap, so there's not much he can do here. In fact, did that even switch? No, he didn't. They didn't switch off Neles then. Okay, so Neles, this is out lap, so it's irrelevant. Lewis now, not going to be able to find a split time. It's just coming through Village. Let's see if he's going to improve or is he going to die into the pits. I feel like he will need a bit of an improvement, but he doesn't have enough time to come into the pits now. He is dying in the pits. So that is Lewis. Lewis is qualifying over. So the question is, what can Neles do? And I feel like Neles has a bit of extra pace in him than that 1:32.7. This will be interesting. It's also, what can Speedy do? If Speedy invalidates, obviously, then he could screw it. We've seen Speedy mess it up, especially around Azerbaijan when he went too deep. Down into, I think it was turn 3. So it's not all over yet. Neles is the man in danger, but he's about to start his lap. So let's see what Neles has got. He's got a bit is a 1:32.774. His current lap time was a 1:32.790. So it doesn't even have to find too much time. We're talking like 1800ths of a second. So he comes through turn 4, 5, turn 6 here on the accelerator. Quick left turn for this turn 7 onto the Mistral straight. And it said a purple sector 1, which I don't think is... Oh, what's that? Did Lewis retire in the pits then? Please tell me he retired in the pits. Let's hope. I'm pretty sure that was Lou retiring in the pits, as I saw him go into the pits, so he can't have crashed out. So, but he knows that it's literally down to Neles now. Let's try and see the split time. He's 3 tenths up. Oh, this could be it. Barring a mistake now, this could be it for Lulu. And if Speedy can make his lap time, we could see Lulu going out into Q1. It is down to Neles and down to Speedy. One of those three will be going out, but which one will it be? Neles now into the village section. Oh, runs a bit wide. He didn't invalidate. He's lucky. He is lucky now coming through into turn 14. Really wide before coming in to get the apex there. Oh no, that's run wide. Is that going to cost him? He was 3 tenths up. Oh, this could be lucky. It's going to be close. What's he going to do? Oh my days! He lost a chunk of time then, but 1:32.764. Literally beat him by 1/100th of a second. Blimey. So now it's down to Speedy. What has Speedy got? It's going to be a 1:32.3, I think that was. So Lulu is going to miss out on that Q2 there. That's gutted. I mean, I thought Neles had ruined it on that last turn. I thought he'd blown it, but he just made it in. So Jack there, 1:29.3, setting down a really solid marker in that Q1 session, easily making it through. To be fair, there was quite a lot of easy throughs. I mean, you've got... It's still quite close though. If you take out Jack from the picture, if you just cover up Jack, just ignore him. Just ignore Jack. You look at Avi, Moyland, Chubb, Scotty, Johnny, McDutchface, and Mr. Psycho Sane. We're talking about like almost half a second splitting those 7 cars there. And even down, if you go down to a second, you know, you're looking at the top 9. So down at the bottom here, Neles creeps into 15th, getting through on at 1:32.764, beating Lewis's 1:32.774. Pretty going for Lewis. I thought he was just about to get it then. I really thought Neles had messed it up then through that last corner. But had enough time in the bag then, could hang it outside to not invalidate and bring it back on the track to just pip it. Just get it in there. So... Lulu not overly happy that someone joined and then and knocks him out of quali. It's understandable. I feel like, I mean, Speedy joined late and then got 1 lap in and it was a lap good enough to beat you. I can understand that's annoying. You think you've kind of done enough, you think you're kind of safe, and then something like that happens. So we've got the wet qualifier now coming out. Who's the first out? It looks like Jack's the first out on track. He is indeed. What do we want to see? I mean, they're all on intermediates, we're going to know that. So there's not really much more to see. Let's just keep it nice and small. We all know they're on the intermediates. I'll check it every now and then to see if anyone goes to wet. So everybody's out now thinking the first lap here in this wet. I mean, it's kind of irrelevant. You just need to get through to the top 10, right? No one's probably going to be starting on these intermediate tyres. Everyone's going to get free choice. I don't think it's going to be starting at the start of the race. I think it's going to be raining towards the end of the race. So let's see who the top 10 are going to be. I'm going to try and make a call for top 10 right now. And it's tricky because it's very bloody close. I'm going to say Johnny, Scotty, Moyland, Jack, Dutchface, Chubb, Avi, Erez, Al Jadifa. I'm gonna go with Mr. Psycho Sane over Speedy, and then I think the people going out are going to be Speedy, Al Jadifa, Neles, El Stefano, and Carl. I didn't even say Robin that. I did not say Robin that, did I? Speedy, Rob, Carl, El Stefano, Neles. Oh man, I'm confused. I don't even know what I said now. I don't even know what I said. So yeah, the top 10. Let's see what Jack's going to do in this wet now. Done an absolute filthy time on the dry session that we just had. Now on the intermediates, on his first lap. Let's see what we're going to set. Is he going to set a time where he thinks he's going to be safe straight away? Is Moylan going to do a similar sort of thing? Moylan is also out. There's a lot of cars here. We've got the Mercedes going nice and slow, letting everyone through right now. How is Jack going to handle this wet weather? Let's quickly jump. Oh, he's on. Oh, I thought he did lose it, but he kept it out of the wall. Let's go with that. He kept it out the wall. So it's going to cost him obviously a bit of time here. Probably, I don't know, what do you reckon, half a second-ish? A minimum of like probably 3/10 of a second there, I would have thought. Looking very snaky out there. I reckon there'll be a lot of people that have gone for a dry setup still. I mean, I personally want to race. I don't go for a wet setup. I go dry setup, sack it off. Can't be dealing with that nonsense. Let's actually get the telemetry so we can see what people are doing. So now coming through into village for Jack. Through turns 13, 14. Nice late apex there for Jack. Turn 15, slowing it down. Nice and slow. Short shift up to third so he doesn't spin up the rear too much. And on the run down now to the line. And it's going to be the Mercedes, so he does a 142, and it's going to be the Mercedes. Is it Johnny? It's not Johnny, so it's going to be McDutchface who's about to pop up. 143.4 for McDutchface. And then after that, it's going to be Al Jadifa on a 145.9. We're about to have loads, I can't keep up with all this. So we've got Neles into 5th, Mr. Psycho saying 144.0 up into 3rd, El Stefano 150, so there's some time for him to find. Neles we're at 146.1, Carl 147.0. Johnny Stokes runs really wide on turn 11 there. So who else just went up there? Avi 144.4. So Johnny there, Speedy, Res, Rob. Rob's coming around turn 15 right now. Where's Rob going to set? He's coming through, it's 138. So we're going to be looking at probably a 146. 146.1. So it gets him up above Carl. So into 7th, very close to Neles' time. Whereas Johnny is crossing the line at 144.5. Again, plenty of time actually to be found here. He was out spinning around, that was Avi. He has set his time, so that's just a spin. And luckily it's off the track enough for people to be able to easily avoid it. Speedy's about to start his lap. Let's see what Speedy's got in the barrel. Joins late to knock Lulu out. Let's make it worth it. He's got to get into Q3 now. You can't be joining late and then knocking someone out and not making it. Oh, and he's absolutely lost it already. Obviously put him under pressure. He can't hack it. He's flustered already. So, not going to be an ideal lap, but still. Could be a solid banker for Joe to get in here. Who else we got? Erez. Where's Erez coming around? Erez is actually further up. Let's jump on board with Erez. Erez is actually invalidated. And so is Chubb. Okay. So they've all invalidated. So let's go back on board with Speedy. As he comes down the Mistral straight now, coming into turn 8 and 9 in a second. Let's see what he's got. Oh, very late on the brakes there. Wishing and hoping that he could have his racing line on. Absolutely misses that. Invalidates, goes straight on, so he's going to just have to go around again. Let's hope he's got enough fuel. Carl has crashed out. Looks like Carl has crashed out actually. That looks on the exit of turn 11. We might be able to get on board here from Speedy. So Carl looks like he's got the power here. Lost it. He has not. Oh, he's not. Oh, and Speedy almost joined him. Speedy was looking. Jack said it's too wet for inters at the moment. Okay, so you reckon it's full wets then, Jack? Can't let the walnuts as well. Yeah. Looking at luckily we got a good angle from Speedy. I think. Oh, was that? Who was that just behind Speedy then? Was that the? What car is that? Is that the Alpine? Nah, I can't have been. Was that El Stefano or Rob? It was Rob. It was a Williams of Rob. So it's unlucky for Rob there. So unlucky for Carl. So unfortunate there. Wets a quicker by over 2 seconds. Oh damn. But Jack, when you set your lap, would you say the Inters were quickest at that point? Do you think like what the times that are out there now are the quickest it's going to be? I'm assuming the fact everyone went out on Inters, the split time was in the Inter favour, right? And then it's just wets are quicker now, which means no one's going to improve. Apart from the people who haven't set a lap. I think the only person at the moment who could be under a bit of pressure will be El Stefano with that 150. Went in wet's favour halfway through. Okay. Okay. So, as we just saw, El Stefano has actually been pipped now. 149 by Erez, but that's only put him 11th. Obviously, Carl being out, but that'll probably... that could be a tricky one. Chubb at 150.4. Chubb's going to need something special, same as Speedy. Speedy is about to cross the line, and what's he going to have? It's going to be a 151.2 as well. Moylan could have left this too late. Moylan might have left this way too late. He is out on the wet tyres though, and there is still... he needs to beat a 1... let's see what Moylan can do now on this wet set of tyres. So here we go, we have Moylan now on these wet tyres. Has he left it too late? Moylan starting that far behind would be make a very interesting race. Very interesting, might be able to see how well he can go through here, but coming down now into turn 8 and turns 9. Up on that curb, oh that's dangerous. I mean it's dangerous in the dry, let alone in the wet there. Oh, and he's on the power, almost loses it but holds it together. And I think that's just... I think maybe Mr. Psycho Sane or Speedy going a little bit slow. I think it's Speedy, because Psycho Sane is in the pits. Oh, Moylan almost losing it through turn 10 on the run down to turn 11 now. What's he going to do? What can he get? Runs nice, out and wide, lovely, cuts it back in, touches the apex of the corner, on the power, again almost loses it through turn 12 now. The Viddage section, here we go, turn 13, drifting it around to the right hand side before he cuts in for turn 14 again. Takes quite a tight, tight line through there. Obviously it's a late apex sort of corner, turn 15. This actually could be an okayish time for... oh, could it? Is it enough? I think it might be. See, we've got what, 41, 42, 40... yeah, wow. Just when you think he's left it way too late, Moylan slaps in a 143 on the wet tyres there. What a lap time that is for Moylan, and that has saved him from... a very low starting place. It's a great lap time from Moylan. Looked pretty good the whole way through. I mean, again, there was time to find. It wasn't even that cleaner track, cleaner lap. What are you doing? You're not sitting on my lap, baby. Hang on. Right, so there's 3 minutes left of the session. We've got Jack, Moylan, but I generally think now the top 10 are pretty safe. I mean, that lap time for Moylan was pretty solid. Oh my god. So 251. Chubb is now on an out lap. Now Chubb needs a really good solid lap here. Something really solid. He's currently on his out lap. What's Rob on? Rob 146.1. He's invalidated that time. El Stefano We're going to get a split time. I don't think we'll get a split time from him. He's already crossed the line. So Speedy and Chubb are going out again on the wet tyres to see. I mean, they've seen what Moylan could do, so they know the time is possible. And if Moylan can do a 1:43.0, knowing how close some of the times are here, it wouldn't. I mean, you can see that 1:46 being very beatable, basically. Even the 1:45s. This is going to be interesting. Oh, El Stefano running really, really deep into turn 14, almost losing the back end. It's still sliding into turn 15. Gets on the power. Oh, it's looking so snaky. I thought he was about to lose it and bin it into the wall, but he sets a 1:47. Oh, 1:47 dead. I mean, nice time to see, but not enough to get him up. But he can still go again, and he knows that he can beat his current time, and it might get him up there, maybe even make him safe. So what we got now? We've got Chubb on an outlap, Erez on an outlap. Who's the farthest round? It looks like Chubb is. So Chubb will be the next person to start his hot lap, and he needs a good lap here. He needs a 1:46 at the very least. We've got a few of the others actually coming out on an outlap on some wet tyres. It's an almost... well, Scotty's going back out on the inters. Wait, no, is he? Let's have a look. Leader gap. Yeah, that tyre. Okay. Yeah, so got Scotty. Let's see what he's on. Yeah, he is on the inters, so it wasn't lied to me. So Scotty's gone out on the inters. We've got Avi on the wets, Johnny on the wets, Al Jadifa on the wets. Obviously Rob's still going round. Oh, almost got his time there. So let's see what Chubb can do anyway. Chubb, he's invalidate. Oh, whoa, what's that? That looks like an issue with his steering wheel, if he's on wheel. Or that was just some absolute like intense saving there. The way his wheel was going right then. He's gonna... I'll tell you what though, Chubb's invalidated and he can't get back round in time. He's definitely had some kind of wheel glitch here. Look, he can't even turn. That is unfortunate for Chubb. The fact that that's happened right there. Not going to be able to get around again and set another time. Can he turn this time? Looks like he can turn now. Nah, look, it's spazzing out again. That's really unlucky for Chubb there. So it looks like it's kind of turning okay and then messing up. And he's at... Whoa, that was a weird drop actually. Completely dropped it there in the wet weather. So I don't quite know what happened to Chubb there. And he's retired from the session. Probably going to go reset his... Oh, and Speedy's out! So Speedy can't improve. Just caught that. That was coming through to... Was that turn 11 or turn 10 he's going through? That looks like on the exit of turn 11 there. Just where Carl dropped it and where Speedy almost dropped it. He has dropped it this time. So Speedy's out. So it's down. Erez is finished. El Stefano's finished. So Rob creeps into the top 10. Well played there, Rob, mate. 1:46.1 was the cut-off point. That was needed. With Chubb's issue with his wheel or controller. I'm assuming wheel, the way it was acting up. Speedy's crash. Surprised Erez did not go quicker, actually. Surprised Erez couldn't make it in there. Carl's 1:47.009 was a very good lap from Carl. Unfortunately, obviously crashing out means he couldn't, and he could not improve on that. El Stefano just about missing out. So Rob's yeah, good time for Rob getting into that top 10 shootout now. So here we have, we've got Jack Moyland, McDutchface, Mr. Psycho Sane, Scott Harris, Avi, Johnny Stokes, Al Jadifa, Nellis, Rob, all making it through to the Q3 shootout. So while the time counts down, I'm quickly going to go make my daughter something to eat, so she can maybe go to sleep. I'll be back in time for Q3. And I'm back. So here we go, Q3. Looks like everyone got out of the pitch relatively early. Was Jack the first one out again? He was. So let's jump on board with Jack to see what he's got in store for us in this wet Q3. Oh, as we're on board there, Jack almost loses it and got a little bit closer to the wall, probably closer than he would have liked to, which is actually showing how hard this track is to drive on currently. Very, very wet, very slippery. And then everyone's kind of having problems with that kind of exit of turn 11. That turn 11 exit, we've seen it catch out a couple of people already, and it looks like it's very, very, very slippery through there. So Jack's actually coming into the pits. So I wonder why he's thinking about that. That could be a tactical thing, or maybe he's thinking, sack that off, that is not worth it. So who else we've got out now? So we've got the McLaren of Johnny Stokes about to come start his hot lap. Down into turn 1, through 2. See that curb, man, people were touching that curb and it's like just one of the filthiest curbs on this game. But Johnny Stokes lives to tell the tale, coming through turn 3 and 4 now. Turn 5. Oh, very snaky on the exit of turn 5. Almost drifting around turn 6. Little kink left here for turn 7, which could easily catch you out. Oh, I thought you ran a little bit too wide there. It's usually really unforgiving on that exit, but managed to make it through down the Mistral Straight. Down into turn 8, nicely cut. Turn 9 there. Oh, sorry, that's turn 8 and 9. Ooh. Very snaky coming on the run down to turn 11, turn 10, sorry. Everyone's really wide and invalidates there from Johnny. Everyone's really struggling on that turn 11. That turn 11 is literally going to be the killer right now. Who's after him? So it is actually Scotty after him anyway, so we'll stay on board with him. Coming through turn 10, does let off, especially in these conditions. Probably a wise move. Into turn 11, does he have the same issue that we've seen everyone having, where they're just running wide? And he does run wide, doesn't manage to get it back in, but I think that's just the kind of norm now. Oh, and who was that? Was that Avi? Avi has gone very, very wide here. But hasn't invalidated, he can still keep going, might as well get a time on the board. Play it safe. And Scotty's coming into turn 14, looked like he came in there a little bit too hot, but does slow it down just enough. But not getting any apexes there, but it doesn't matter. Turn 15, navigated round on the throttle. So snaky on the on throttle on here. 1:45.4 for Scott Harris. Provisional pole here for Scotty. Now let's see what he can do. Johnny Stokes is going around for another lap time. Who we got behind him? We've got, so Avi's going to set a time, but we know it's not going to be anything special because of his little off-track excursion. And I think that's Rob just behind him. Rob 1:46.2, so he goes second. And then we've got Neles. Oh, Neles has lost it, just as I say that. Try to jump aboard with him. He loses it on the exit there and smashes into the wall. And then we've got Jack there, about to start his fast lap. So Johnny, I'll tell you what, let's do Johnny, because Johnny is actually on his hot lap right now. Needs to get a time on the board. Current pole sitter, Scotty, 1:45.4. Avi done a 1:54 there. Well, obviously we saw what happened with his time, his lap. There. So okay, let's see what Johnny can do. Johnny now coming through, navigate through turn 11, coming through turn 12. It just looks so slippery out there. Everyone's really on edge, very twitchy, but it's what you expect. Does throw a little bit of extra spice into the races. So through turn 4, where I don't know where. Oh, Johnny's okay. Okay, he's given up with that. Maybe he just wants a fresh set of wets, or maybe he's seeing that it doesn't look like it's raining too much on screen. I mean, there's little droplets here. Maybe he's thinking the inters are quicker, and maybe he's thinking he wants to get in now and be able to persevere. Yeah, everyone's out of laps. Yeah, everyone's going out on inters. I think he's decided to bail on that instead of getting like a bit of a banker. He's just going, no, I'm going to come in now because then he can get a couple of laps on the intermediates rather than going around and having a one-shot wonder. In these conditions, it'll be very easy to invalidate. So Moyland on the inters. Moyland has... Oh, Moyland, I switched onto Moyland and he's playing, and he's doing some Tokyo drifting around around turn 7. Blimey. So who we got starting their lap? So Jack's actually on his lap and he's coming through turn 15 right now. So there's still a wheel on the track which you shouldn't be able to hit. It should glitch straight through you. So what's Jack going to do on his intermediate tyres? It's going to be a 1:40.4. That's actually a disgusting lap time there from Jack. So provisional pole now for Jack with a 1:40.4. Who is going to be able to beat that? We've got Johnny who's still sitting in the pits. I thought he was going to get a set of inters on and just get straight back out there, try and do a couple of laps. Get like a banker in there and then go round and smash a time. Is anyone close? Moyland. So Moyland is coming around now. And he's darting into the pits. He's on those... Oh, he's on the intermediate tyres. Why is he... I guess he wants a fresh set. I guess he wasn't happy. I mean, okay, yeah, he did have a bit of spin. Probably thought overheated inters probably might not be the way to go. So he's coming in for a fresh set of intermediates from Moyland, knowing that he needs every bit of grip. Chubb, my inters literally felt like slicks. Chubb, what happened? It looked like you had some like a wheel issue or something. Like on my stream, it looked like it was shaking, like your wheel disconnected or something like that. Maybe that was some of the issue that you had. Maybe there's a bit of a glitch going on with yourself. So Al Jadifa now. So many cars out. Everyone trying to get in that last lap time. So for pole position, it's the 1:40.441 to beat off Jack. Jack is now in the pits. He's going to get another run in as well. We'll be able to get a set of tyres on. Mr. Psycho saying 1:41.3 gets himself up into second position. So decent lap time from Psycho saying there. Johnny Stokes is still on his outlap on inters. McDutchface has invalidated his lap, which is a shame actually, because it probably could have been an alright one. What would it have been? A 1:41, 1:42. I mean, it's pretty obviously backed out now, but 1:43. I think that was after I invalidated on my last lap. Let go of the wheel in frustration. It may have been. It just looked like even when you were racing around, like it was kind of weird. Like you were going around the track, and then it literally looked like. Oh, maybe yeah. Maybe it was because you let go of the wheel. It was doing that. It happened quite often, and it looked like you were struggling to even kind of like get around the track, which is why I thought there was an issue with the wheel. But maybe it was just you letting go because you couldn't be bothered driving back because you're in frustration, which would make sense. It would mean why it was jittering a bit. To be fair. Moylan just checking out the old softs, seeing if it's going to get dry enough. I don't think it will, Moylan, mate. I think you need to just get out there on that set of inters. I need to get out there very soon too. We're running out of time. So, who we got here? Oh, no, I tell you what, they are looking at it. They are looking at the soft, seeing if it's going to creep in, seeing if they get out there, if when it comes to their hot lap, if it's going to be dry enough. Jack has come out actually on a set of soft tyres here. Is that to bait Moylan into doing it? Moylan's out as well. So they are thinking about it. I don't know if I crash a blow my wheel. It's weird, mate. If you watch the stream back, just look at it. It was really weird. I thought you had an issue. Because then you retired. Obviously, now I know it's in frustration, but I literally looked like you had an issue with your wheel. It was really, really weird. Just the way it was probably like just jittering sideways. Like back and forth. So this will be interesting to see if it is actually dry enough for these soft set of tyres. Just watching Jack go around now, and it doesn't look like... I wouldn't say he's struggling massively, but I mean Moylan's the one that's could have messed up here. He's literally sitting in 9th right now, and if this isn't going to work out for him, then he's screwed. I mean, if it does work out, who it could help would be Rob. Rob could get a savage amount of time on these soft tyres in comparison to the inters, and could see himself starting like top 3. Who we got there? So Avi there goes up into 3rd position on 1:41.3, nice lap time, and I'm assuming who was that just coming off after him. So McDutchface currently sitting 4th, 1:41.6. We've got about 25 seconds left of this session. Al Jadifa, so currently we've got Jack on pole. He's now on an out lap on these soft tyres, about to start his hot lap. Mr. Psycho Sane in second, third place Avi, fourth place McDutchface, fifth place Al Jadifa, sixth place Johnny Stokes, seventh place Scott Harris, who I don't think there's much Scott he can do. I don't know. He's going to go for one more lap. Wait, no, this is his last lap right now. Robson Racer on these soft tyres. What can he do? Let's see what Moylan doesn't really have any comparison. He hasn't set a lap yet. See if we can see what Jack's times were. Is it going to tell me? Oh, I need to see some sector times here. We should be able to see a sector time from Jack in a second. It's not looking too bad. I think it looks worse than it actually is. Whoa, he's 0.6 of a second up on his time here. This soft choice could be the right one, and this could cement Jack at the top of the standings. But it does mean also that Rob and Moylan both could see themselves jump up massively here. Let's see Rob's split time coming through. So Jack's almost a second up on his time. By the end of this lap, I'm looking to see around a 1:38ish, I reckon, if it holds it all together. Let's see what Rob's split time is as he comes down the end of the Minster straight. 3.2 seconds. Okay, well, we know we're about to absolutely smash these times. So the weather right now, what you're seeing is absolutely deceiving. What they're racing on is obviously like some kind of heated bloody surface right now. Well, I mean, Jack's going to be the first person to cross the line, so we might as well just stay on board here with Jack to see what he can do. Coming through, just finished through the village, coming through to turn 14. Did he let Moylan go? Because Moylan, so Jack's given up, and so Moylan is about to cross the line to take provisional pole away in a 1:38.0, and we're about to see Rob cross the line, who's going to take, and this could be, was that third for Jack? I think that was the third for Rob there. So Jack did a 1:38 still. Maybe he spun then. He must have had an off. But going to those softs there. What an absolute play from Moylan and Jack and Rob. Rob especially up to third place now. Rob, look at that. That's what we like to see. British drivers, top 3 on the track. Well played, boys. Well played. Scotty Harris being the standout letdown as he normally is, but well played, Rob, mate. Very nicely done. Waited for the right moment. Went to those softs. So I don't know what happened to Jack. Jack, what happened to you? Because you were the first out there, and then Moylan was in front of you. I don't know if you let off or if you had a bit of an off. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it was meant to be you crossing the line, then then Moylan, then Rob. But lovely, good starting position there from Rob. So well done there, my friend, getting third. Very nicely done. And in the race, oh, it looks like it's going to be raining, but let's wait. See who we're going to be waiting for. I bet it's Neles. Is it Neles? I swear it's always Neles that we wait for. He just like finishes and goes away. So Jack just said, shit lap, F's sake. So obviously he did definitely have some kind of mishap happen on his qualifying lap. That kind of change in conditions though made it very, very interesting for the last lap really. What's that? What's got GP1 general chat? But Dutchface says good luck lads in the Discord. Yeah, good luck to everybody. Let's have a nice race here. It's going to be interesting in the wet. Adds a little bit of extra pizzazz. Let's see what we can do for everybody. You hate this track. Yeah, Joe, you bottled it big time, didn't you, mate? Here. A 2-stopper, really? Maybe. I mean, does anyone have any idea when it's predicting to go dry, if it's meant to be going dry? Is it going to be like a little stint at the end where we could see some dry racing? I definitely think in these conditions there's going to be some safety cars. I definitely think that's going to be the case. I mean, with with some of the accidents we've had, it looks like turn 11 is catching people out, especially on the exit. Who's got a lot of... So, Mr. Psycho Sane. Don't remember him being in last week. Pretty sure he's a new guy. Fantastic job starting in 4th. Massive mention for Rob here. Just over halfway through for it to go dry. Okay, cheers, Joe, man. So, Rob in 3rd position. His nose is starting to bleed a little bit. He's that high up. But he's relishing it, I can tell. Hopefully he gets a good start. Moylan there, taking pole from Jack. Jack's obviously last lap. He messed up. Johnny and McDutchface 6th and 7th for the McLaren boys. So we've got Chubb down here. Probably out of position for where he would normally be. But this track's pretty brutal for invalidations. So it's unfortunate for him, but he's got a bit of a... Again, in these conditions, anything can happen. He could literally see... He could make up like 5 places just by people spinning out in front of him. And so, you know, the safety car and stuff like that. So I think with the safety car, knowing that if it's meant to be coming about just over halfway through, everyone will have the same sort of information. It can mean that you could do something different in terms of tyres. I mean, most people are going to want to take this set all the way to where it dries out. Or it's you come in early, go for a fresher set of inters to take you through to that point, but... Mrs. Carl's just put on her cheerleader outfit. Come on, Moylan, no spinning or getting penalties, let's finish 1st place. It's possible, but Mrs. Carl, Rob is up there to challenge him. So I think Moylan's going to have his work cut out. Oh, and obviously Jack's there too. So Moylan could have his work cut out. But like I said, so far... I know, I'm not even going to say it again. I'm not going to jinx him. I'm not here to jinx people. Let's hope everybody... I'd like to see everyone finish. I'd like to see everyone finish and it just be a stonking race. So here we go, everyone is going to be back on the grid now. Now let's see what we've got. Moylan is on pole. The lights will be going in a second. Here we go, 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And it's go, go, go. Oh, that looks like a slow start from Moylan there. And Jack had those insane reaction times. Moylan does get off a little bit late and Jack is right on the outside of him going into turn 1. How much space are going to give? Jack kind of backed out to that, knowing he's going to have the inside line, but he knows what that curb's like and does back out of the move completely. And Rob is... Well, McDutchface, what a start. Up to 4th position now. Side by side with Rob, but has the inside line here. But then Rob gets the inside line back. But then McDutchface gets the inside line back. Oh, and Rob goes really wide and he's going to lose out. Is he going to lose out to Avi? Does he get... No, he doesn't. He keeps it. Come on, Rob. Keep it there, my friend. Keep it there. So McDutchface, what a fantastic start that is. In fact, up 4 positions from the start for McDutchface. Boisma's up 6. Al Jadifa's down 5. Carl and Ares both down 4. And Chubb is up 4 as well. Again, so it's all to play for. Rob here and Avi fighting it out, but Avi does get the inside line on Rob. But it's only the first lap, still not out of it, and what's the gap between Moylan and Jack now is about just over half a second. So these two, look at the gap already back to McDutchface. These two are not messing about out front. These two are getting the hammer down. Look, you can even see it. What a shot this is as well, by the way. That finally the game's come up with a good shot. McDutchface there. They're all going so like to the edge of the track through turn 11, just not getting the turn in that they would usually be expecting. So Avi there, Rob and Johnny Stokes now. So Johnny's now going to have to navigate past Rob. How's Johnny going to do it? Is he going to do a cheeky little lunge up the inside? I don't think Johnny's going to blow this away. He's sitting currently top of the Drivers' Championship, and Moylan is his rival. So Johnny doesn't want to do anything that's going to damage this and throw it away. Moylan 149.3, fastest lap of the race so far on the first lap. Well done, Moylan. Johnny Stokes now slipstream on Rob. Is he going to go up the inside into turn 1? He's thinking about it and gets the job done there. Not much Rob could actually do with that one. And now he's got Mr. Psycho Sane there, who has lost quite a few places at the start. So Psycho Sane and Rob now will be duelling it out. And then you've got Scotty Harris as well, Neles and Chubb. It's actually pretty close, actually, all the way from 6th all the way down to about, wow, about 14th in all fairness. It's all pretty close. El Stefano's keeping Chubb pretty honest as well. It's kind of tinkering around out that second. I mean, not that it matters, there won't be any DRS in this stage of the Grand Prix with how wet it is, but I think everyone, you kind of look at that 1 second as being the marks you want to try and get into. So it's like saying, thought about, oh, Rob's gone well off the track there. What's happened here? Okay, maybe he was just worried about getting on the power too early. But here we go, so Rob still going to slot in behind Scotty. And then he's got Neles coming around the outside, and now Chubb is going to do the same thing. As we're all coming around here, Chubb slots in behind Rob. And who was, was that Carl? So something's happened, and Erez is all the way back here. They pitted. So Erez did pit, okay, so Erez pitted. Must have been for some wing damage. So Chubb there. So, who was that? So looks like someone's jumping the old curb there. So Johnny Stokes now. Oh, Moyland and Jack instantly switch fastest laps. This is going to be an interesting battle up at the front, actually, these two, following each other around. Look at the gap they have over McDutch Face as well, 3.2 seconds. El Stefano and Rob now, so El Stefano gets past Rob. Rob's not had the best of starts here, but it's still loads to play for, plenty to play for. Erez hit Carl. Ah, okay, which is why Erez pitted then. Does Carl have any damage? Do you know, Mrs. Carl? So Rob now down into 12th. Bozeman's now past him. There's still all to play, Rob. Anything can happen. So Johnny Stokes isn't really gaining on Avi either. Avi, we know Avi's quick. He's also one of the... I'll tell you what, let's go on board with Avi. I just want to watch his wheel movements. It's different, it's in the wet. I feel like Avi is usually one of the smoothest drivers, especially on that wheel, that you've ever seen. Side pod damage. Okay, not ideal, but not too bad. Down into 7th here, nice little car. I mean, obviously on the rumble strip, it's obviously the steering was very spiky, but in general, I feel like Erez is so smooth on his steering wheel. It's almost like he's gliding. It's like like right now he's like a boat on the water, man. Look at that. It's like a jet ski. It's actually quite fascinating to watch. I mean, I don't know why I noticed it more with Avi. Like, there's probably plenty of drivers here which seem very smooth on a wheel, but ever since I watched Avi, I think it's just, I don't know, everything's so smooth. Jack later says, and another fastest lap of the race, and that was closed the gap to within 0.4 of a second on Moyland. I wonder what these two are going to do. These two are going to both have to be careful, both have to keep it nice and steady, not get into any trouble. The gap now back to, from Jack to McDutch Face is 3.7, and McDutch Face has a 1.5 second gap back to Avi, and then about a similar sort of gap back to Johnny. It's only until Scotty now. Scotty looks like there's a okay, I was going to say a bit of a train forming. Oh no, who's that? Bosma has lost it. Was actually running up there quite nicely. I think he was in front of, I think he was up in front of Chubb, was he not? Or maybe just behind, but so Bosma has managed to lose it. Still only Erez with a stop. We can get rid of the position changes for now. Doing C tyre, they're all on, apart from Erez, everyone's on the same sort of tyres. I want to see telemetry. I want to see people's ERS here. So let's move up through. Let's see Jack's. Okay, so that's that there. Moyland on 60%. Jack is on 80. Dutch Face sitting on 52. Actually, I won't go through everyone. If anyone's watching, they'll be getting the important information. So Dutch Face actually gained a little bit. So Jack has had a bit of a shocker over lap this time. The gap is now 1.5 seconds. He lost about a second on this lap. So he won't be happy with that. Can't really give. It's so solid. Like when you're this close, you give anyone that sort of advantage, especially if you don't think you can catch up that much. You just find yourself getting further back into it, just staying there. Unless Moyland puts a foot wrong, that gap could say the same, and it could come down to the pit stops and what people are going to do. It's still raining. It's still intermediate weather. Jack really froze his car going into that corner, coming through into that turn turn 3, lobs it in there, beautiful. So Johnny Stokes, so Neles picks up a corner cutting penalty. Chubb is right on the back of Neles. Neles has actually gone so far on the inside of that curve, he's made his own track. Is he going to let Chubb go? He's gotten to the outside. He hasn't properly come back on here. Knows Chubb is there and does get the position up, but now he's under pressure from Mr. Psycho Sane. Neles' exit is going to be super compromised, and Mr. Psycho Sane does actually get the job done there on Neles. Neles is going to slipstream him. He's got El Stefano from behind as well, but I don't think he's not close enough to make a little lunge. So Neles is just going to have to try and hold it together, compose himself a little bit, and go for another attack. Gets high up on that curb. That's going to jeopardise his exit, and now El Stefano could actually get a bit of a toe down here. But El Stefano looking a little bit slower on the straight there. Maybe not giving it as much in terms of ERS. And then behind that you've got Al Jadifa. So again, I mean, then you've got Rob as well. So Rob's not out of this. I mean, he did lose a few places, but he's still there or thereabouts at the back of this train here, which is Chubb's train. But Chubb here has made up so many places. Been a great start here for Chubb, and Jack now sets another fastest lap of the race and gets back within that second mark. So Psycho Sane there, looks like a poor exit, pushing about a second back. Neles is dropping back a little bit from Psycho Sane, which is the gaps are kind of spreading out a little bit. We've got Bosma behind Speedy. The gaps are starting a little bit to eke themselves out, with Dutch Face holding pretty solid in third. The gap between him and Avi hasn't really changed too much. Same for the gap between Avi and Johnny. It stayed relatively similar, about two tenths slower. 2 tenths bigger, I should say, for both of them in terms of the gaps. Jack did bring his down about half a second, but now it's kind of, he's just flirting with that 1 second gap between himself and Moyland. Or Bosma, that thing actually just looks a bit more like a little bit of lag rather than him getting on that curve too much. He's definitely got a bit of lag going on. Carl driving around, minding his own business, chilling. But still, again, anything can happen. I still think there's going to be a safety car. So all of these can all definitely get straight back into this race at any moment in time. But Dutch Face now 4 seconds back. Jack is catching up with Moyland in very small increments. I reckon I don't know if he's just trying to put Moyland under pressure. Obviously you don't want to drop too far back. You don't want to just kind of give him an easy run. You want to try and pressure and try and make him make a mistake. Jack probably knows that Moyland does have a spin in him every now and then, so Jack's maybe trying to exploit that. Avi has gained a little bit on McDutchface, but McDutchface has also lost a lot of time on that lap to Jack, so I'm going to say that was a pretty poor lap from McDutchface. Avi has capitalised, but the gap between Avi and Johnny Stokes has stayed the same, so... Well, in fact, no, the gap between Avi and Johnny has got a little bit bigger, so McDutchface isn't under too much threat. Chubb now, I mean, Scotty's pretty much on his own. I mean, he's like just under 6 seconds back from Johnny and over 6 seconds in front of Chubb. So Scotty is pretty much Scotty chilling right now. Chubb has pulled away from Psycho Sane. Neles is similar sort of gap to what he was before between him and Psycho Sane. El Stefano 3.1 back from Neles now, so he has dropped off, but Al Jadifa, Rob and Lewis, and also now Speedy and Bosma are all joining the party behind this little El Stefano train here. And I wonder if any of these are going to start struggling anytime soon. Al Jadifa is right on the back of El Stefano. El Stefano goes defensive. This is down the Minsel Straight, all on the run down to turn 8 and 9. He's not going to do a shoot now. 9 of these can do. If that was dry, I reckon Al Jadifa's slinging that in there. But El Stefano does run deep. I think he was lucky that Al Jadifa actually wasn't closer than otherwise. That could have ended really badly for him. Rob is right behind Al Jadifa, looking. He's just waiting. Rob's going to wait. He's going to pounce. And Rob's teammate Lulu as well in 13th. Look how close this is. You're literally from El Stefano all the way down to 15th. Oh, Lewis is right on the outside there. Cuts back in. And they're Speedy and Bosma. I reckon Bosma's quite... He's thrown it up the inside of Speedy. Look at that. Oh, nicely done by Bosma's. He's quite an aggressive at driving. I like to see that. Not many people would try that in the wet. Oh, these guys are battling it here. Who's that? Was that can't have been Rob and Lewis. And now Lewis is battling with Bosma. Bosma's actually probably going to get the better exit here. So he's going to get that. He moves to the outside of Lewis, coming down into turn 1 now. Lewis is going to have to defend here, coming through this corner. Does he have the opportunity to defend? He is on the inside still. Bosma's hanging it around the outside, and does he make it stick? He does make it stick. So nice overtakes there from Bosma. Gets Speedy and Lulu on that lap. Rob, Al Jadifa is pretty much pushing El Stefano around at this point. El Stefano went deep, and Robson Racer now is through. What's happened to Lulu? El Stefano now all the way down into 14th, so from going wide there has ended up losing about 3 positions. So Robbie's up to 11th, Al Jadifa's into the last points scoring position in 10th, and now it's kind of the Al Jadifa train. Rob's got to try and keep himself up there as El Stefano and Speedy are battling it out. El Stefano looks like he's just run a little bit wide. I think this can happen so often. You have like one kind of poor corner, and it messes up so many other corners, and then especially when you're getting overtaken, you can't get your rhythm back quite quickly. I think that was Bosma. No, and Scotty's lost it. Where has Scotty lost it? Coming through here. Oh, he's got on that curb, hasn't he? He's definitely got on that curb. Let's see if his car's still going to be there. It looks like he's probably got onto this curb. He's back. He's got on that curb, smashed into that wall and gone shooting across the track there. So that's the sector 3. Is that going to be the safety car that we were all expecting? I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, it's only lap 8, but the fact that we're already at this point and there's not been a safety car or really anything happening until now is quite a good effort. Now Stefano decides that he wants to come in for, I mean, it's still only lightly raining, but maybe a fresh set of inters. And then when it dries up a bit later on, is that a new wing as well? It's like a new wing in the waiting it is. So new wing for El Stefano, so kind of had to pit. Fresh set of inters, probably good smart choice. Gonna go out there, have these inters, a nice fresher set, all the way hopefully until it maybe goes dry. And then he can come in, might even gain some time. I mean, there's no safety car or anything, so he's going to be a bit behind, but if he can gain time on those fresh inters compared to everyone's older ones, that would be a really good play there from El Stefano. Definitely has some pace, because he was obviously up there. Postman out up into 10th position, Robson Racer in 11th. His teammate Lewis in 12th. Speedy's kind of gained up to 13th there. Jack is about 7 tenths behind Moyland. They're still both very, very close. They can both see them. They're both on the same corner. McDutchface is still chilling. The gap has increased to 6.4 between him and Jack, but the gap's also increased between him and Avi. But Johnny Stokes, however, has brought that gap down between himself and Avi to under a second now. So Johnny Stokes going on the charge. ERS-wise, both very, very similar. I'm slightly surprised that McDutchface isn't just slowly allowing Avi to catch up a little bit, not making it too bait, not trying to lose so much time, but oh, look at these two going for it now. Jack's on the inside, Moylan's giving him the space. Moylan didn't want to turn in there, but Moylan is right off the track now. I hope that didn't give him a warning. So Jack does make that happen. I wonder if Moylan actually had a bit of a iffy corner and they're coming through, and Moylan, he's got to go back on the attack, and Jack does go defensive as they're coming down on the run down now to turn 8. Oh, Jack's car looks pretty rapid in that straight line though. Nothing Moylan could do. Moylan thought he had the run on him there, but Jack retains the inside line and does get past Moylan to take the lead of the race. I thought Moylan was going to have him back through down the Mistral Straight, but Jack's car just looks rapid in that straight line, and I mean Moylan's just going to have to hopefully rely on ERS now and Slipstream to get back past him, unless Jack just absolutely pulls away. Let's stay on board with this for a little bit longer, see what happens. The only other kind of close battle is Bosma and Al Jadifa, which could actually, something could be about to happen actually. Let's jump on board with Bosma. They're coming down the straight. Is he going to do another one? He's done it before. Not into this one. That's a too much of a fast corner there. I think that's a bit too dodgy in these conditions. It does look like it's drying up though. I can't see any more rain, so we're looking for soft tyres very, very soon. But who's going to blink first? As Bosma now on the inside of Al Jadifa and gets the job done on the way into turn 8. But Al Jadifa comes back at him on the inside. Oh, and Bosma just turns in and says, nah, sorry bro. Okay, so there's that. Any other close to Al Jadifa, Rob? We know they're close. Lewis is couple seconds back, but Speedy is all over the back of Lulu now. Right, let's jump back up on board with Johnny Stokes and Avi. So here we come on the rundown now to turn 3. Johnny has slowly been increasing his, decreasing his gap to Avi over the last few laps. Now we're sitting about half a second. So Rob has managed to actually get past Al Jadifa as well. So up into 10th position for Rob. So starting to recover. Oh, really deep into turn 1 though. Just cut that, mate. Just cut it, and he's going to lose out to Al Jadifa again. But nicely, you come back on track. That's the main thing. So Johnny Stokes now. Is he going to try and have a run at Avi? Again, Avi. I don't know if it's just he's got like a really good wheel, but yeah, his steering wheel, his input just seems so like Avi's input when you look at others. Just I don't know. I'm getting carried away with the steering input. So here they come, a little bit of a let off, which is definitely needed, even sometimes in a drive around this track. McDutch Fakes is still kind of chilling, 2.5 seconds between him and Avi. Oh, Avi doesn't quite get that late apex hooked up there and loses a little bit of time on the traction to Johnny. Johnny takes a really light apex for this corner, but it pays dividends coming through there. And if Avi actually wasn't there, he would have got a much better run off onto Avi, but Avi did place his car very nicely to stop that. And that looks like Speedy. They might have Speedy having a little bit of a moment, but he's okay now, so that's all fine. So Johnny Stokes on Avi. Is Johnny quicker in a straight line with the slipstream? It's looking like he's gaining. It's just much slower. I reckon give it another couple laps and we are going to see the DRS enabled sign. But who's going to blink first? Are we going to have someone coming into softs and risking it? It's on the cusp. It is on the cusp, and it's like, do you take that risk? Ideally, you want to try and time it perfectly, right? You want to try and get in there when it's just switching. You want to kind of get it on the lap the DRS becomes enabled. That's kind of your ideal scenario. If you get in the pits for that lap and it says DRS disabled on that lap where you've pitted, that is the beautiful thing here. And Johnny Stokes now on the run, right up behind Avi. Avi has gone defensive to the inside, on the run down now to turn 8. Avi's car, look at that in the last bit there, late on the brakes for Johnny. In fact, they were both quite late on the brakes there, and Avi beautifully placed on his car there. Didn't run too deep, didn't miss out too much, got on the power really nicely. Now they are losing some time over McDutch Face, but these two won't care. These two are battling it out now. Is Johnny going to try and go into turn 11? I don't think there's much he can do here unless he just keeps it really tight and tries to zip underneath Avi, but it's a dangerous game with this late apex. Avi seems to take the same sort of line through there actually, so it's not like didn't look like a mistake on the last lap in that respect. And Johnny always takes that the really wide line and cutting it back in, but he ends up getting a really good exit on the run down now to turn 14. And I thought Johnny was about to die into the pits then. I really feel like it's almost softs, So the gaps now have started to get a lot bigger all throughout the field really. The smallest gap other than the lead two, we've got Neles and Mr. Psycho Sane. No, Al Jadifa actually. Al Jadifa's just cut his time down. Al Jadifa's a Bonesma. He's almost under that second mark. So it's Johnny Stokes and Avi now. These are the closest people on field right now. Let's get on some nice let's hide some stuff. Let's just watch pure racing on the screen and see if Johnny Stokes can get in ahead of Avi. Don't think he's going to be close enough on the run down to turn 8. He might be able to have a run into turn 10. It's risky though in these conditions. Coming through turn 9 now. On the run. Is he going to switch? Avi hasn't really gone defense. Well, no, he kind of has. He's kind of stayed to the middle. Didn't really come right over to right, but kind of stayed relatively middle-ish there. And now they're coming through turn 11. Is Avi going to take that same sort of line? Yeah, Avi takes that same sort of line. Doesn't quite hit the apex. And then we're going to see this really wide line from Johnny now. He goes really wide through this corner before cutting back, but then gets on really nice and early on the power, and it gives him a better run down to turn 14. But let's jump back on here. Let's see if any gaps change too much now. I mean, that was not the best lap from... Oh, okay, so Johnny, look at all this now. They're all coming in for a pit set of the mediums to run to the end here. What's Moreland going for? Moreland's coming in and come out. Set of mediums as well with Dutch Face set of mediums. Johnny Stokes is going to have to stack, and that's going to cost him to Avi. He's only just going in the pits now. Avi is out on that set of mediums. Is he? No, okay, Chubb's just come in. So Johnny, I mean, it's going to cost him. It's going to cost him probably, what do you reckon, maybe 3 seconds? Oh, it's beer. Cost him I mean, he was around, maybe around a second-ish. I mean, Johnny could... I mean, maybe that's why. Maybe he tried backing off a little bit. See him with Dutch Face coming, thinking that he was going to do the same sort of thing. So maybe he did just drop back a little bit, but didn't quite drop back enough to make it a quick stop. But still, nonetheless, still didn't lose a position. Just didn't gain anything. I would say Avi gained him with Dutch Face though. So Rob is now in the pits. Everyone's going for these medium set of tyres. Anyone else gone for something different? Lewis has just decided, sat this boys, I'm staying out there on these inters. We'll find out what sort of... I mean, it's still error. Okay, so we've got Erez in the pits and El Stefano. So El Stefano's 4 laps, so... This... I mean, Chubb is catching Lewis up very, very quickly. Like, this track is pretty much bone dry now. I've done what Lewis did before, but when I did it in my race, I did it almost right at the end of the race. I think there was like 4 or 5 laps left. Something like that, maybe 3 or 4 laps left. I said on the intermediates, everyone was going in for a fresh set of softs, so I thought sack it. I gained a good chunk of time, and I reckon if I pitted it, I would have been... It worked out like I would not have really gained or lost, I think. But, I mean, after this, he's going to drop down a lot, actually. It was risky, and the track last lap, if you look at it, was wet. You know, you just see it now. And that's sector 2. Who's that? Is that Bosma? That is Bosma. Ah, and he's lost his front wing. That is brutal there. After it, he's had a nice comeback run as well. And he's dropped it after turn 9. That is going there for Bosma. Losing that wing. Going to have to come in again. Fresh set of mediums again, and most likely. Just going to be running around the outside, letting people through. So we're about to see Lulu come into the pits. Here he comes now. Where's he going to come out? I'm predicting it's around, I think, 20 seconds to stop. So we've got 10. He should come out. Well, Bosma's going to have to pit, so he should come out behind Speedy in front of Bosma. Scotty, did you get onto that right-hand curb through the village, and it just dragged you into the wall? I'm assuming. At least that's what it looked like. So Moylan with a 3-second penalty, and that's actually is slowly handing Jack this race. But I mean, in terms of pace, you're looking at Moylan and Jack relatively similar pace now. I don't know, do any of them have a bit more in hand? Are they both kind of giving it their all? This is the one thing you never know. Like, was Moylan not showing his full pace when he was in front of Jack? Is Jack not showing his full pace now? Is Jack just struggling because he doesn't have any slipstream now? He's not got DRS. And here we come. That is the Red Bull of Bosma. After his pit stop, letting the 2 leaders through. And Moylan now really is on it. Obviously, slipstream and DRS now available for Moylan, so that changes the game completely. Let's see what he can do. I was looking behind me, absolutely no one, and you lit it up in 5th. Well done, Scotty, mate. Well done. Were you just trying to see the tyre smoke from you lighting it up? Is that what you're looking behind you? That is like an unfortunate incident there, mate. That's unlucky. So with DRS and everything now, Moylan is definitely going to be on the attack and looking pretty spicy and looking to get past Jack. What can Jack do to try and hold him off, or does Jack just go, you know what? If you get me, I will stay in your slipstream and your DRS, and then I'll get you back, and it'll be one of these little cat and mouse games until the end. Is entirely possible. Moylan looks like he takes that corner actually quite a lot nicer. Turn 12 there. Does look much smoother. Again, not enough with the DRS open for Moylan to be able to get past him down into turn 1. Scott Harris, bad habit, look behind me after every cut. Fair enough, mate. Not the, I mean, I can understand if people are there to have a little quick little look-see. But when there's no one there, it's a bit suspect, but each to their own. It's hard once you're in when you're used to doing something. It's hard to get out of that, isn't it? So don't hold you responsible, mate. Don't worry. And to be fair, I don't want to jinx anyone here, but I'm quite surprised that there's still 16 races going. This track is notorious for being a bit of a stinker in terms of spinning out. And the fact that it started off wet, and just how this game usually you start off with, even if you start you lose about half your drivers usually during the course of a race, and how everyone's still out there is a testament to everyone's skill in this league. So Rob's really close to LGD for actually. Where are they coming through now? They're coming. Okay, coming on the run down now to turn 3. Moyland, where's Moyland? Is he gonna? They're coming around the end into the village. They're around turn 13. I wonder if Moyland's going to be able to make a move on Jack now. They've got a couple of back markers just in front of them, which could benefit Moyland. Could benefit Jack. If Jack gets past him easily, Moyland struggles a bit. DRS wide open, but not the best exit for Moyland. A little bit too early on the power on his back end, stepped out. Rob does manage to get Al Jadifa though. So let's quickly see these two are still battling it out. So Al Jadifa actually retakes a position, but now Rob on the run down to turn 10. Right, is he going to try something special? Into turn 11. No, he's not. He's going to hold fire for now. And who is that? It is Lulu dropping it at turn 9. That is unfortunate. It looks like, was that Miss McLaren there? Okay, so no, he's just on his own. It looked like there was another dot with them, but so Moylan 3. Oh, where's Moylan? Where's Moylan going? Moylan's gone well off the track there as the I think that's Erez and El Stefano getting out of the way. It is, so now through turn 11 for Jack and Moylan. So Moylan's taking quite a tight line there. Really cuts off that corner, whereas Jack Laters goes out a little bit wide and sweeps back in. Trying to straighten up the car a little bit earlier. Mirror signal manoeuvre. Yeah, well that's true, Sky, mate. That is true. Safety first, right? Safety first. So DRS wide open for Moyland on the run down to turn 1, but he is further back than he has been in previous laps. So I don't think there's going to be much he can do there. And Jack did set the fastest lap of the race then, so that just shows off it was going to happen. Rob has now dropped out of the DRS Al Jadifa. He's flirting with it though. Coming up to the 1 second again. It's very possible. Just needs to kind of compose himself, save up a little bit before another attack. It's hard actually, because Rob is actually much healthier on ERS than Al Jadifa is. He's just not quite close enough yet to make use of it. Doesn't want to use it to catch up and then have nothing once he's passed to pull away. You want to try and make sure that when you get past someone, you've got a little bit of ERS in the bag to help pull away. Start using it in some obscure places which you're not expecting it to help give you that distance to get out of DRS. Erez is on the back of El Stefano, and they're about to come down now into turn 10, but Erez isn't close enough. I want to see someone trying something in turn 11. It's prime overtaking corner, that one. You see people run it up the inside, take a tighter line. People obviously, when you're in up the inside of someone, you got a bit less space. Erez actually takes quite a tight line there through turn 14. Turn 13, sorry. Who else we got here? Is Erez going to try and have a go? Anyone close enough? No, it's pretty much Erez and El Stefano and then Moyland and Jack. They're the closest battle so far. I don't know if Erez is actually going to be close enough. He is kind of gaining, but not enough. Needs to wait for them into straight, really. Moyland is doing fantastic against Jack, actually, yeah. This is what I was actually saying earlier on, when Moyland was in front of Jack, was Moyland kind of sandbagging a little bit, and now Jack's in the lead is Jack sandbagging a little bit. I feel like they're both pushing like a madman. I generally don't feel like anyone's trying to slow up or anything. I think they're both just racing hard as fuck, and Moylan is doing fantastic against Jack. Oh, look how close, how much he's gaining. Is he going to go up in here to turn? Oh no, no, he backed out of that. I reckon he could have left it in there. I reckon he definitely had. He could have definitely left it in there. But here we go on the run down to turn 10. Nothing's going to happen here. Moylan on Jack. Is there anything going to happen? Could he go up into turn 11? Is he going to try and do it? He's taking a really tight line, but that is his normal line, and he's going to cut this corner off. Jack does leave him some space, but Moylan kind of backs out a little bit. Doesn't let that come to fruition. Through turn 12, and Moylan gets a little bit back-ended. That's going to cost him about a tenth or two. Robson Racer is now back in the gap. I need to stay on board here. They're coming down onto the straight. He gets onto the pack. Oh no, Moylan's got a little bit back-endy. That's going to cost him a little bit of time again. He's just going to use his DRS, draw himself onto the back of Jack again. That's all he can do in this situation right now. Just use a DRS, catch back up. Every bit of time he just lost with that little early acceleration, little back-end step out, is going to gain that back with DRS. Let's go back on board now with Rob and Al Jadifa as they come to run up to turn 10. Rob's still a little bit too far behind to make anything happen between himself and Al Jadifa. Speedy's chilling, 5.5 seconds back. Lewis again. There's a few people just kind of on their own, like Chubb. You got McTouchface, Chubb, Psycho Sane, Neles, Al Jadifa's not. He's got Robson Racer for company. Wait, who was that? Was someone just going off then? No, I thought that was someone going off. But let's have a little look. See, is Al Jadifa going to be overtaken by Rob as they're coming down to the main straight on the run to turn 1? I don't think Rob's just not quite got enough speed. He's close. He needs to get a really nice exit off of turn 15 there. Stay with him and get a really nice exit. Where's Moylan now as they're coming through the village around turn 13? Moylan needs to try and close this gap up. Get a good exit off this last corner. They're both saving ERS very, very nicely. There's really like almost nothing into it. Nothing either that someone could use a little bit more to gain. Moylan's just going to have to use his DRS to close up and try and stick with him through all the corners, all the twisty bits. Get a good exit onto the where it matters, coming onto the straight, especially through turn 15 and out of turn 7 as well. And even turn 9 actually. Overtaking to turn 10 is a bit risky, but it's doable. Anyone close? Robson Racer and Al Jadifa still going at it. All the other gaps are still quite far away. So Rob, they're not really in a overtaking position right now. So let's stay on board with Moylan. DRS is wide open. Coming through turns 8 and 9. Look at Moylan almost pushing Jack along. Is he quick enough without the DRS? With the slipstream, I think Moylan's got enough speed. I think he's definitely got enough speed in general, but in straight line speed, I think he's got enough to get Jack. It's just, oh, that really tight line again. But Jack, I'm pretty sure, is aware of that tight line. Knew he was pretty safe then. And again, another tight line from these both. Moylan does lose a little bit of time through those corners, though. Not much, but everything he kind of gains, he ends up losing going through this final sector, but he is a lot closer than I think he has been. Looks like he got a very nice exit as well, but Jack also gets DRS. I think that's from Lulu as well, so that hasn't done Moylan any favours there by Jack getting DRS. Moylan did just stick with him though, but I feel like if Jack didn't have DRS then, Moylan could have maybe made the overtake on that lap. Did what he needed to do that lap actually, kept it pretty close. Now he's going to just try and reel him in again, start over from scratch. What's he going? So Rob and Al Jadifa are still going at it. They are still going at it. Nice to see this kind of just this consistency, and there's been a bit. So you got Jack Moylan very consistent, kind of doing the same sort of thing, and even from the gaps that you see throughout the field, the consistency throughout the whole field here has been relatively nice. And just seeing Al Jadifa and Rob just battling it out, Obviously Rob's very close but can't quite make the overtake, which proves that it's not as easy to overtake around here as you might think, which is in the case of other tracks really. You think it's got a big straight, really sharp kind of sharp turn with a heavy braking zone. You think, oh, you can get overtake over there. It's not as easy as you might think. As Moylan and Jack now, just as I see here, are battling it out going through turn 11. It did look like Moylan had a bit of an advantage going through turn 11 there. So Moylan's now very close. I don't know if Jack had a little bit of a mistake or run a little bit wide. But coming through turn 14 now. Come on, Moylan's just got to get really close, get a really nice exit. Oh, the back end stepped out again. He got just too early on the throttle. It's not the first time I've seen that happen for Moylan. But with DRS, it's going to save him. It's going to drag him up really close. And if he was just about... He needs to be about 2.5 tenths back. If he's about 2.5 tenths back, 2 to 2.5 tenths back, and I reckon he can make that into turn 1. But Moylan now putting Jack under pressure. Can Jack handle the pressure? And as that's happened, Al Jadifa's been overtaken by Rob. So Rob now made his move on Al Jadifa. That pushes Al Jadifa up down to 10th and Rob up to 9th. Still a good solid race from Rob, even though he got that third place to start. He's still done well to keep himself into 9th. And Moylan now getting very close in there, side by side, coming through turns 8 and 9. But again, Moylan thought better of it. I want to get more of the guys going in, but this is the battle it's kind of the battle on the track right now, and it's so close. And here we're going to see something in turn 11. We know that Moylan had this very tight line here, and he's going up the inside into turn 11. Oh, did back out of it, but Jack had to run wide there. Thought better of it. Moylan's now on the parallel. Little bit of a love tap from Jack, and Moylan's going to cut in. That might give him a bit of exit, bit more speed down into the straight here. Let's just stay on board with these two. We've got a couple of laps left right now. There's not much else going on apart from Al Jadifa and Rob, and we'll get back on with that now. Relatively good exit this time from Moylan coming down the main straight. DRS will be wide open. Is Jack going to go defensive, or is he thinking he's not going to do it into turn 1? Moylan's going to the inside into turn 1 now. Whoa, brakes very early. Moylan, you've got to just get some cojones. Just throw it in there. You've got to just sign, seal and deliver it, mate. That could have been yours to take him. You're well within your rights to make that move stick. It's not too overly aggressive. He would have known you were literally alongside him. That was your corner to take there. Just throw it in. And going to make me lose my voice doing this. And now DRS wide open, but he's not close this time. He's just going to have to use this just to gain. But look at the speed difference. He might actually have a chance here under the braking zone. Moylan, if you don't throw it in, boy. Moylan, we're going to have some aggression lessons after this race. This is it. Oh, Jack's car got a little bit unstuck there. But that's... Go on. Going up there. It's giving you space. You can. This is a fantastic way. Let's see what else is happening throughout the rest of the field here. Obviously, the only problem Moylan has, he does have that 3 second, which I don't think he's going to be able to pull away. But there's still the bragging rights of being on track, being in that position after this great fight. And you never know what could happen. I mean, Jack could still pick up a penalty. You never know. Anything can happen in his last 2 laps. Johnny Sykes is very close behind Avi now. Al Jadifa is still close behind Rob. But the DRS for Moylan on Jack. This has got to be it. Right up the inside. Blast through. Has it held. And Boisma looks like he's disconnected here. Is that car? It's just getting out of the way. That's lovely. And now Jack is right on the back of Moylan. Slipstream all the way. Run down to turn 3. But Moylan plants his car. Really nicely defending that. What a finish to this race. What a nice little battle we've got going on at the front. It's still relatively quiet throughout the rest of the field. I mean, McDutchface is on his own. Generally on his own. Johnny is close to Avi, and it could happen. There's a sector 2 yellow. That is, I think... Who was that? Is that... yeah, that looks like... No, that can't be Boisma's car. Boisma's just about there, isn't he? So anyway, Jack and Moylan now. See, this is a sort of race where I could do with a Cove so they could watch another fight, but sack it off. Jack and Moylan till the end. Let's go! So I feel like Moylan's actually got the got the advantage through this corner. Takes a tighter line, really gets it on there, gets on the power a little bit early, so I feel like through there he's perfectly fine. Is Jack gonna fight so hard that he picks up another pen? Well, or picks up a pen. If Jack gets a pen in this last lap and a smidge, then that could be huge. Moreland's got the advantage now. Jack's gonna have to get a good exit. Moreland actually gets a good exit, so he's actually going to help him. But DRS is wide open for Jack now on the run down to turn 1. Let's have a little look-see. Is Jack going to go up the inside? He's almost pushing him through here, but didn't quite have enough. And Al Jadifa has managed to get back past Rob down in for that battle between 9th and 10th here. On the run down to turn 3, Moreland throws it in. This is the last lap now. Obviously, Moreland does have that 3-second penalty, but Jack still could pick up a penalty on this last lap. It is not over yet. Can Jack? I mean, it's still the bragging rights of beating them on the track with or without that penalty anyway. Fantastic racing. These two you literally could barely split them the whole race. I think the biggest gap, I think it might have been 1.5 seconds. But Jack is looking to go up the inside of Moreland and makes it stick. And Moreland runs really deep now. That's killed it. Jack waited to the perfect moment there, and that has killed Moreland. That is unfortunate there. The gap is now 1.4 seconds. Sector 3 yellow. Is that Lulu or Rob? Oh, it was Rob. Oh, Rob, man. So unlucky. Now down into 11th, and Speedy has snuck up into the points there. That's so unfortunate. So unfortunate. Who else is close? Avi. So Johnny Stokes has managed to get Avi as well. So nicely played from Johnny Stokes, waiting for like the last lap here to get Avi. Is Avi going to be able to attack again? I don't think. No, they're both pretty tapped on ERS, man, and fuel. I don't think there's going to be much left from these two. So here we go. Jack is about to cross the line and take the win over Moyland. But what a fantastic race from these two here. Nice bit of excitement towards the end. I'm trying to think of driver of the day. To be honest, I got caught up in it. So for me, it's kind of between Chubb and McDutchface. McDutchface crosses the line, take 3rd. Johnny Stokes in 4th. Avi beats Johnny Stokes on the penalties, so Avi does keep his 4th position anyway. And now here comes Chubb. The reason why I say this, Chubb started, was it 15th or 14th? And has managed to finish in 6th. Hasn't had much going on. In fact, the whole race really, there hasn't been too much going on. I mean, McDutchface got a fantastic start and came home in 3rd and literally solidified that 3rd place. At no point throughout the race did it feel like he was going to lose that 3rd place, to be honest. The gap was always similar. Didn't quite have the pace with Jack or Moyland. But I did have the pace over Avi and Johnny around this track. Oh, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. Now they're up to 9th. Speedy, and then Rob's crossed the line, and that's it for everybody right there. Right, I need to come up with my driver of the day. It's between Chubb and McDutchface for me. The game's given it to Chubb based on the game, obviously based off the amount of positions he's gained, which, you know, fair enough. He's done a great job in that respect, and he is in contention now. Ah. Okay, I've made my decision. My driver of the day is going to be Chubb. I'm going to go Chubb. I think from where he started to where he finished was a great achievement. We can see it right here, right now. Taking the win, we have Jack Latest there. 2nd, Moyland. Fantastic from those two. Fantastic race throughout the whole race. Those two were so close. McDutchface, amazing effort. Got a fantastic start and held down that 3rd position the whole way through. Very close to having my driver of the day. 4th place, Avi. 5th place, Johnny Stokes. 6th place, Chubb again. From to the amount of positions he gained, he held down that place. 7th, Mr. Psycho Sane. 8th, Al Jadifa. 9th, Robson Racer. 10th, Nellis. Nice to see Rob get back up into the points after that fantastic qualifying as well. 11th Speedy, 12th Lulu, 13th Erez, 14th El Stefano, 15th Carl, 16th Bonesma, and 17th was Scotty, who unfortunately crashed out. Let's have a quick look see at the chat. Lifting and coasting for the last 10 laps, under fuel, banked on a safety car, that never came. Ah, crap. Well, that just means, that just justifies my thing a bit more, really. The fact that you had to do that. I mean, I thought it was very strange. This is, I think, the first race I've not seen wait, no, we had one at Monaco, right? So maybe the second race where there wasn't a safety car, right? Like, that's insane for this game especially, and France. France has so many corners which are just low traction and just spit you out the other side. So... let's just quickly do this in Discord. Did I get McDutch Face's start? Well, actually split it right. Moyland, man, that was a fantastic race. You and Jack, both of you, that whole race, could barely split you. It was unfortunate at the end, really. I feel like you both gave it your all there, and obviously you had the penalties, which is unfortunate. But yeah, you came really, really close, man. Held it together, and I think this is like the 5th race in a row where you've not spun out, Moyland. Like that is just an achievement itself. The first 3 races of the season, you know, you had a spin in you. Yeah, was that down on the run down to turn 8? I saw that. Because then you went really, really deep. Oh yeah, your exit for turn 15, mate, I thought you were going to lose it, like, almost every lap. Like, that was the one place. As soon as you nailed that exit, you managed to get the overtake done. But all the laps, like, leading up before that, yeah, you kept getting on the power just a smidge too early, and it was costing you that overtake. But when you nailed it, you done it. You also could have probably overtaken him a couple more times if you just fucking threw it in there, mate. It was a fantastic race, like, and battle nevertheless, but if you were just a little bit more aggressive as well, you could have overtaken him earlier, I think. But yeah, fantastic to see have that battle. I mean, both of you were streaks ahead. There was nothing, no one could touch either your pace at all. Yeah, I was thinking about throwing away those points to Johnny. Yeah, that's I can understand from that point of view. Obviously, now you've got the lead over Johnny, but yeah, I mean, there were so many times where you literally, like, you had the right of the corner almost. But yeah, I mean, obviously after that, now you've taken the lead of the drivers. So, but it was well raced, man. Like, you and Jack smashed that race, and there was a lot of good battles throughout it. Give it another watch, man. Give it another watch. Defo worth it. I think for the last 5 laps of the race, it was just you two as well. A lot of the gaps had spread out by that time, so there wasn't much going on. There was a couple of little battles, but yeah, that was yours and Jack's battle was the in thing, man. So all the cool kids were watching. But anyway, thank you everybody for racing. I've been DXT Nevo. Thank you for turning up. Thank you for racing. Thank you for putting on a good show. I will see you. Actually, what is next week? Next week is the Spanish Grand Prix. So I will see you next week, I'm pretty sure, for the Spanish Grand Prix. And let's hope we can get another good race like that. So, yeah, thank you everybody for watching. And good night.